Boom, boom. Ah. Hello. Hello, everybody. Nice. And comfy. How's everyone doing? Today, we're not playing any games. We're eating snacks. Well, sort of. I have some snacks with me because I haven't eaten yet today. And I was going to eat before stream because eating on stream is unprofessional. But then I realized, you know, I don't really care that much. Now, there's a giant white box next to me. You might be wondering what that is. This is a notepad, and I'm gonna shrink it, or bring it away from the corner a little bit. This is a notepad. What am I gonna do with this notepad, you ask? I'm gonna write some stuff. Why not, right? One sec. Why not, right? So, I'm gonna write some stuff. That's how I'm gonna pass the time. I hope some people come by to chill out, say hi, chat. Today's a chat day. I have gone out from my regular location. I am no longer in the sunny, macaroon-filled sky. And instead, I'm in this comfortable tent. What am I doing in this tent? Well, I'm here for the rain, mostly. Mostly for the rain, yeah, I'd have to say. My voice. Oh god, my voice. So I'm going to be flipping the pages, as you can hear every once in a while. Eating my yogurt, which is what I'm currently eating. Very good for you. Lots of active probiotics. Yep, I read that off the packaging right now. And I'll be writing some stuff because I like to write. I might not be writing that much. Mostly this is going to be for chat. For chatting. But in the case that I don't have anything to chat about, I will try to write something. So, that's the plan for today. Just nice and comfy. I honestly I honestly really like the vibe going. No, I honestly really like the vibe that I have going here. So what to write about, huh? Usually when I don't know what to write about, I just write whatever until something pops up. So I was thinking that's what I might do. Just write whatever until something pops up. That seems like a relatively decent idea. I think so, I think so. I like that song a lot. I wonder if it's annoying though. But I do like it a lot. Okay. Ugh. So, in terms of, I was thinking about reading something too. I might read something. I think a good thing to read would be, my favorite light novel of all time. Well, probably not of all time. But, there's a light novel I've been meaning to reread recently. Actually, a couple. Oh, I could do more than one. I was thinking about rereading, either Boogie Pop or, Zerath Maria. I think it's called The Empty Box in Zerath Maria. I believe that is the full name. As you can probably hear, I brought along some chips. Okay. Let's just start. Alright. Oh, it's so cozy. Bad that I'm getting hot. Nice. I guess it's probably better to start reading then, huh? We can hide this notepad then. We don't need that. And I will be right back. Oh, is this my blanket? Ah, it is. It's kind of small today, huh? There we go. I will be right back and find that book. Yeah, hello. What? There I am. There I am. There I am. There I am. There I am, Sam. I am. Ba-dum-bum. There we go. Ah. There we go. Okay. Well, let's start. While I read, I'm kind of looking down, so my eyes might be closed. But that's okay. That's perfectly okay. All right. Opening the shoji screen, the boy took a step onto the tatami of the darkened tea room. Wordlessly, he stared into the center of the room. Cushions and low tables were scattered everywhere. Only a small amount of light managed to pierce the decorative screen above the door and enter the room, making it difficult to see anything clearly. But he could see the scene easily enough. In the center of the room was a girl. One look and he knew she was dead. She was upside down, thick white cotton socks on slender legs thrust into the air like the arms of a cheerleader at a pep rally. Her shoulders were limp on the floor, her head twisted around so it faced the same direction as her body. There was no blood anywhere. Wow, that's freaky. Her long black hair seemed to flow across the tatami, and her vacant eyes just seemed to stare back at the boy. The boy took a slow step backwards. As he did, something hot slid downwards from above, just grazing the tip of his nose. Startled, he glanced upwards towards the ceiling. He froze. "You saw me," said the killer, hanging from the ceiling. It wore a girl's shape, but was a creature of indeterminate gender. Now that you have seen me, I cannot allow you to live. Its voice was somewhere between laughing and singing. Oh, so I should read that differently, huh? How do you do somewhere between laughing and singing? Okay, whatever. A moment later, the boy felt his body flung aside as the creature lunged down towards him. For some reason, the boy felt oddly happy. Oh, odd. I love using the word odd whenever I write. I don't know why. It's a bad habit, though, and I try to use it less. I always eat when I read. I don't know what it is. Bleh. The actual events probably form a very simple story. From a distance, they appear to be quite confusing, to have no clear threads connecting them whatsoever. Bleh. But the reality is that this is undoubtedly a much more straightforward, commonplace tale. But from our individual standpoints, man, whenever I eat chips, they get stuck in my teeth. Okay. Where was I? But from our individual standpoints, none of us were quite able to see the whole picture. All of the people who somehow had a part in this society, in this story, how did I read story as society? Weird. Were unable to see beyond their own unique role. My name is Nitoki Kei. I'm in my second year at Shinyo Academy, although I'm so small that I'm often mistaken for a junior high school student, or worse, some elementary school kid. Despite all this, I'm the president of the Student Discipline Committee. Kei is like a big sister. She might look like a kid, but there's just something reliable about her, my friends always tell me, half-mockingly. I don't consider myself to be a particularly serious person, but everyone around me seems to think that I am. Bleh. They're always asking me for some type of advice or help, and I've got a major sort of glitch where I can't ever seem to tell them no. Can you, Kei? Nitoki, please. Someone says these words to me and I just can't settle down. But this has basically nothing to do with me being on the discipline committee. Our school is only an average, mid-level sort of place. But like many other high schools, it considers guidance to be the teacher's job, and the discipline committee is just there for decoration. It's sad, really. There are a number of students who have run away from home or gone missing this year. Wow, that's so weird. That's weird. Who have run away from home or gone missing this year. But none of the teachers care enough to put forth any effort into finding them, and all the headmaster does is whine about how much of a headache they are, and how poorly they reflect upon the school. Whatever. All this negligent attitude does is irritate the hell out of me. My tiny little sense of right and wrong is next to useless. It's not like they'll ever listen to me. If anything of any significance had happened to us, we wouldn't have been able to do a damn thing about it. As it was, we knew nothing. See, all the people close to me, myself included, had no way of knowing each other's problems, or just what we're fighting. We simply had to guess blindly and just act on our gut. The man who came from the sky, the woman made from his design, the twisted, strange events they brought about must have begun around that time, right as my heart had been broken. Chapter 1, Romantic Warrior. Takeda Keiji, 3rd year Class F. The story of Boogie Pop is one that weighs heavily upon me. It's a subject that I still haven't finished sorting out my feelings about. He's no longer around, but I'm not really sure if I'm supposed to feel relieved about that fact or not. He was unusual, to say the least. I'd never met anyone as strange as him in the 17 years that I've been alive, and I doubt I ever will. After all, he was a transforming superhero. That sort of thing is only fun if they're on TV. But if you're standing right next to one, it causes nothing but trouble. And in my case, it wasn't exactly somebody else's problem. I never once saw him smile. He always looked grim, and would look at me and say depressing things like, "Takeda-kun, the world is filled with flaws." This with the exact same pretty face that always made my head reel. But Boogie Pop is gone now. I'll never know whether or not everything he told me was a lie. One Sunday, with the middle of fall fast approaching, I was standing in front of the station, waiting for my girlfriend, Miyashita Toka. We were supposed to meet at 11, but it was already 3 o'clock, and she had yet to appear. Did I mention she was a year younger than me? Apparently her family was pretty strict, and for some stupid reason, I was expressly forbidden from even attempting to call her house. All I could ever do was simply wait for her and get in contact with me. So, once again, I was forced to stand there, fretting while I patiently tried to wait for her to show. "Hey, Takeda-senpai," someone called out. I turned around to find Saotome. How do I say this? Saotome. Okay. Standing there. He was my kohai, on the same committee as I was. There were 3 other students with him. 2 of them were girls. "What's this, a double date?" I said, unaware that I was coming off as old-fashioned. "Something like that. You waiting for yours?" Saotome gave off pretty much the same impression, whether in uniform or out. Wherever he was, he seemed to blend in. You do realize that dating's against school rules, right? Look who's talking. "Oh, you're on the discipline committee as well?" the guy next to Saotome asked. "Oh, yeah, sorry, I thought." But I couldn't say that to a kohai, so I just shrugged. "Then I guess we've got nothing to worry about," he said, putting his arm around the shoulders of the girl next to him. Guess they were together. Go figure. "Yeah, I don't give a damn either, but the teachers are different. But the teachers are a different matter. Better keep an eye out so they don't catch you," I grumbled. They all gave knowing laughs, then nodded and took their leave. As they walked off, I heard one of the girls say, "Guess who's been dumped?" All I could think was, mind your own damn business. That gives me Kyon vibes from Haruhi. Let's eat a chip. There we go. All I could think was, mind your own damn business. I mean, it's not that I actually like being on the discipline committee. It's just that someone had to take the job, and that someone ended up being me. That day, Toga never did show. Have I really been dumped? Surely there would have been some sort of warning, right? I waited despondently until 5. Unable to let things go. I knew I had to, though. I dragged myself away, feeling like the world had cast me aside. I was the only person in my class not going to college. Heck, everyone else was off studying for entrance exams. It's no wonder I felt so left out. Then it happened. Staggering towards me was the kind of guy who would stand out in any crowd. He was a skinny young man, with roughly cropped hair that stood on end. He wore a badly torn, dirty white shirt that was just flung over his body. Bleh. The shirt was unbuttoned, leaving his bare chest exposed. The bottoms of his pants legs trailed along the ground as his bare, shoeless feet shuffled across the pavement. There was a serious-looking wound on his head, and half his face was covered in blood. Though mostly dried, the blood stuck to his hair in clumps. One look at him, and I knew he was a mess. Yet I couldn't avert my gaze. His eyes were unfocused, and he was moaning aloud. This was not some new fashion, but clearly a bona fide, genuinely crazy psychopath, probably on drugs. Yeesh. There are actually guys like this showing up in our town now, too? Spooked, I averted my course, giving him a wide berth. What is that, a wide berth? I don't know that word. Berth. Everyone else was doing the same, so there was a sort of air pocket forming around him. He tottered along in the center for a few moments, then suddenly he collapsed to the ground. Before anyone could react, he began to sob quietly. He sniveled. These are my noises. Great slobby tears rolled down his cheeks, heedless of his surroundings. A circle of people, myself among them, formed around him, watching. None of us dared move towards him. It was the strangest thing that I'd ever seen. It was bizarre, like something out of a surreal Eastern European movie. But there was one person who did approach him. He was shorter than me and dressed in a long, black cape, with a collar that wrapped around him like a great coat, and a black hat like a shrunken pipe. Shuriken. Like a shrunken pipe, or a top hat without a brim. The hat was a size too big for his head, and half covered his eyes. On the hat and cape, bits of metal gleamed like rivets or some sort of badge, sewn along the hem. But it gave off the impression of armor. To match his all-black outfit, he wore black lipstick. His face was so white, it was like the ink painted on top of a glossy no mask. You guys know what no masks are? They're like, those ancient, God, they're really creepy looking. Really creepy looking. Clearly, this was another crazy person on the loose. The cloaked figure leaned his black hat over to the side and whispered in the psycho's ear. The psycho stared up at the cloaked figure with empty eyes. The man nodded, and the psycho stopped crying. There was a slight stir from the crowd around them. It seemed that some form of silent communication had been established. The cloaked figure's face snapped up and glared around at us. It was clear that he was seething with anger. "Do you think to do nothing when you see a fellow human crying?" he suddenly shouted, loud and angry, in a clear, boyish soprano voice. "Is this what the advancement of civilization has led to? Urban life weeding out and killing the weak? It's appalling!" The crowd concluded that he was simply another loony and avoided eye contact, quickly dispersing. I started to follow suit. But he spun towards me, catching my eye. It was then that I finally got a clear look at his face. Words can't begin to do justice to the shock I felt at that moment. Perhaps the best example I can give is to describe it like one of those, what? Nopperaboo? I'm Googling this word. Nopperaboo. Yeah, I'm Googling this word. Like one of those Nopperaboo. Nopperabo. Nopperabo. No. Noperabo. No. 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 Nopera. Nopera. Bo. Noperabo is how it's pronounced. Noperabo. Or faceless ghost is a Japanese yokai that looks like a human but has no face. They are sometimes mistakenly referred to as mujina, an old Japanese word for a badger or raccoon dog, although the mujina can assume the form of the other noperabo, and usually disguised as humans. Huh. Noperabo. Interesting. Where was I? Noperabo. I can't find this weird word. I can give it to describe it is like one of those Noperabo ghost stories. You expect a faceless ghost, but instead the ghost looks just like you. At first you just don't get it, but then you do, and it totally freaks you out. I stared at him, eyes wide open and mouth agape, but for him I seemed to be a little more than another face in the crowd, and he soon shifted his glare to the man next to me. Two policemen came rushing up. At last, someone had reported the psycho. "That him? Get up!" The policeman roughly tried to yank the man to his feet. He made no attempt to resist. "No need to be so violent. He's afraid," the black-hatted figure said, not fazed by the idea of lecturing policeman either. What are you, his family? Just passing by, the figure replied softly. Don't twist his arm like that. Step aside, the policeman shouted, as another tried to shove the cloaked figure away. But the cloaked figure bent his body, like a dancer, and evaded the policeman's sweaty arm. What? The policeman cried, overbalancing and falling to his knees. It was like some kind of kung fu, or maybe tai chi. All I know is that the cloaked figure's motions came off as being extremely graceful and fluid. This is what happens when you resort to violence, the cloaked figure spat. And that's what I call interfering with a police officer, the cop bellowed, springing to his feet. Try performing your duty before you accuse me of interfering with it. It is your job to save people who are in trouble, not to trample them beneath your feet, the cloaked figure said, as if delivering a speech. Meanwhile, the police had forgotten about the psycho, who had begun aimlessly tottering off down the street again, with surprising speed. The policeman turned hurriedly to give chase, shouting, "Hey you, stop there!" Nice. The cloaked figure in the black hat spun around, his cape fluttering, and dashed away. Ah, wait! The police officer clearly couldn't decide which quarry to chase. The cloaked figure moved like the wind and vanished just as quickly around the next corner. I was left standing there, stunned. I was not stunned because of the cloaked figure's bizarre behavior. Well, maybe I was. But I was much more shocked. But what was much more shocking was having the image of his face burned into my eyes. The hat was low on his face and partially concealed it, but there was no mistaking big, almond-shaped eyes. They belonged to the girl that I had been waiting for all day, Miyashita Toka. And thus ended my first encounter with the mysterious cloaked figure, Boogie Pop. So that's the first chapter of Boogie Pop, and the prologue, actually. I really like this light novel. It's good. It's good. I like it a lot. I don't know if I'm gonna read anymore. Probably not. I'm thinking I just do some writing for the rest of it. And finish eating. I'm hungry. Why not, right? But yeah. I think Boogie Pop trots that line of like God, how do I describe it? Trots that line of being too cliche almost, but doesn't quite hit it. I think yeah, a lot of time it's like almost, oh, this is another typical like school anime style light novel, but we don't quite get that, which I enjoy. I'm glad that it is the way it is, because it's kind of just unabashedly how it is. It doesn't seem to care much, which is always good. I'm okay. But generally when I write is, I write best either really late at night or really early in the morning, so like 7 a.m. would be early in the morning. I guess I write best from around the times of 2 a.m. to like 7 a.m., but I also write best when I have the most sleep. So if I'm on a sleep schedule where I'm waking up right at 7 a.m., that's like perfect, or right at 6 a.m., or even 5 a.m. If I'm on a sleep schedule where I'm waking up at 5 a.m., that's perfect for me, I think. Because I can wake up, sit down, it's nice and excuse me. It's nice and quiet. You know, the atmosphere is great. And I can just write. I can just write forever. I tend to only write 1,000 words at a time, though. I tried doing more than that, and it seems to be a little bit more than I can handle. But, I think it would just cause, or I think it would just need me to, how do I describe this? I think I would just need to get used to it. And then I would be able to do it, 1,500. Excuse me. I think there's a lot of things in life where they seem pretty difficult at first, but once you give it a try, then they're not so bad. Yeah. I think a lot of stuff is like that. Okay. Well, let's try to write something. What should I write? Okay. Let's see. Usually I just write nonsense if I don't know what to write. Water sucks. How do you spell unabashedly like that? Unabashedly. Let me make sure. Unabashedly. Yes, that is correct. Generally, this is how I write things. I just make them not make much sense, and then I make sense of them later. I also like things that are just weird. For no particular reason. They're just weird. I feel like unabashedly is a bad word here. This is fun. We have 2 opposing viewpoints now. Is rocks the correct alternate to sucks? I think it is. You know, I was thinking, tomorrow I need to, come up with something to do. Because I have it as a free day. I was thinking of just doing, Ori and the Blind Forest again. Because I've kind of been missing it. I haven't played it, in a while. So I think it'd be a good thing to play. Yeah. I think so. Let me eat this banana. Yes, I have a banana with me. This is just an eating stream. Just an eating ASMR stream. And what you gonna do about it? Nothing, huh? Nothing. Bleh. Oh god. Okay, there we go. Alright, there we go. Banana successfully prepared to eat. You do have to prepare bananas, you know. You gotta get them all ready. I also struggle figuring out what kind of person I want to be on stream. Because sometimes I'm really chill, I think. And sometimes I just want to be really hyper. And really exciting and really fun and really just talk a lot. But not always. But I think it's fun to be hyper and exciting and fun and yeah, I think it's good to be both. I've always said that it's important to experience all kinds of emotions. And I think that's true, for sure. You know, something else I want to do? I want to play either old Game Boy games or old like DS games. I have to get an emulator. Well, not an emulator, but I do have to get an emulator. But I'm not using an emulator. Isn't there something where it's illegal if you own all the hardware to use an emulator? That's what I heard. Something like that. I wonder if I should ever do an ASMR stream. I really like ASMR, just on its own. I think it's very relaxing and a lot of fun to listen to. It's really weird. There's some videos I just can't sit through like a 20-minute video of something, but if it's ASMR, I can sit through like 40 minutes of just nothing but weird, odd sounds that don't really have any purpose, you know? streaming to 0 viewers is kind of therapeutic. I wonder, I haven't actually looked at the statistics of it yet. Ah! Sorry, I dropped my banana. But I don't know how many people actually come back and watch my VODs to any meaningful degree. I don't know if it's a lot or a little or what. I finished my banana. But yeah, I have sort of a confession to make about streaming. And, well, this channel, I said I would be live every day until the 25th. I don't know if I'm going to stream at all after that. But, excuse me. It'll depend on, well, it'll depend on a few things, I guess. A few things that I don't really want to talk about. But yeah. I don't know if I will be streaming after that. Hopefully I can make it every day until then. You know, hopefully I can. But generally I find it difficult to keep on going without any growth or whatever. But I guess it's important to do things that you know are going to inspire growth. I should do those news videos I wanted to do from the very start. I haven't done any of them, but I think they're a good idea. I do. And I think they're something that I'm interested in doing as well, and I'd like to do them. So I should do them. But I haven't yet. And that's mostly because it's something I have to do outside of streaming. I can't really work on that while streaming. Well, I guess I could, but it's sort of hard to. So, because that's something that I kind of need to work on outside of stream, there's other things that I'm currently working on outside of stream as well, which are taking up a lot of time. So, as soon as I finish that, then I'll probably be able to do some new stuff. And I wonder if that'll bring any traction. I wonder. I like the idea of doing interviews and stuff. I think it's healthy to have interviews and to give someone somewhere to talk about stuff and to ask questions. And I don't know, I feel like I would be an okay interviewer, maybe. I hope. So yeah, I think that's a good, decent idea. There's a guy named Domo Ariga Thanks who does interviews and stuff, and I haven't really ever been able to make it through one of those, but he has a lot of people that watch him and stuff like that, so I would be down to be the VTuber version of him. And maybe not so much of a clout chaser, but can you really even do interviews while being clout chasey? I don't know. I don't even know if he is a clout chaser, in all honesty. I just hear that from people, so I don't know how true that is. So don't take it from me. Blah. Weird throat stuff happening today. Like, my throat feels very odd. But yeah. I've been thinking about stuff like this a lot recently. I really hope that my company or whatever you want to call it lets me keep streaming as part of my job, quote unquote. Job. I don't know, is this a job? Who knows? I really hope that I'm just gonna be allowed to keep streaming. Because I enjoy it quite a bit. I like it. I like doing this. So I hope that I'll be able to keep doing this. Yeah. Okay, let's see. Is there anything else I can add to this dumb writing? Or do I think that this is too dumb and want to restart? The ultimate question. I don't know. I think just making a bunch of random statements with two answers could be interesting. I don't like calling out viewers who aren't using chat, but it is so hard to ignore the fact that one viewer just walked into the stream. I just wanted to note that. Made me laugh a little bit. Because it's like 0-0 the whole time, and then one guy pops in. I'm like, what are you doing here, huh? What do you want from me? Who are you? Make yourself known. But you don't have to. You can stay quiet. Have a neutral one. Hey, what's up? I'm sorry for calling you out. I usually don't, but usually I have other people in chat. So, and one second. Where's my chat? It's not on screen. Chat? There we go. Yeah, I'll make a neutral one. But yeah, usually I have other people in chat, so it's easier to ignore when people drop in and out. And I have other people chatting, but today's a slow day. No one came by. Alright, neutral one. Let's do that. What's a neutral version of sucks and rocks? Water. Neutral version of sucks and rocks. Water. Flops. Flops kind of has negative connotations. Water. Water. Maybe we'll do this one a little bit different. Water. Meh. Water is okay. Okay has too much positive connotation, maybe? I'll try that. Water is okay. Water is okay. I'll do is okay, and then I'll do meh. Because neither of these are really... Water's meh. Neither of these are really truly neutral. Water is okay. What's not okay about water? But water. Wouldn't. Whoops. There we go. Of course water is meh. Fuck. Bland and so... I was gonna say so deftly woven into our personal lives. But it's bland and... video's ending. Shh, don't look. You will never know my secrets. Water is meh. I know that most people probably don't think much of water, but I do. Of course water is meh. Sure, we need it to live, but it's bland. I saw everything. Oh god. No. No. Please. You're not supposed to look. I'm really here, I swear. I know that most people probably don't think much of water, but I do. Of course water is meh. Sure, we need it to live, but it's bland. And so common. So commonly integrated. So common in our everyday lives. But it's bland and so common in our everyday lives. How can it not be meh? Nice. I've written 4 paragraphs about water. Cool. So, Talented Tan, what brings you here? What's up, man? Or woman? I don't know. I don't know which. I'm assuming man. Man named Talented Tan. I mean, don't feel like you need to talk, but I'm gonna ask questions anyway. I usually don't make it to streams. I'm always too late due to my sleeping pattern, but I woke up early today. Oh, look at that. So you've seen VODs. I see. Well, today's chill stream. It's nice to meet you. I'm glad you could catch alive. I was actually talking about it earlier this stream, that I was wondering if anyone does watch the VODs, because I see that they get views after the fact. I wasn't sure if that was like someone comes in and watches like 5 seconds of one and it counts as a view, or what exactly was going on. Because I wasn't too sure, you know? Man, I ran out of water already. Today was basically my chill, eat on stream day. I wanted it to be a chill day because I'm working on an audition. I'm working on an audition. And I didn't want to kill my voice too much because I might need to record some stuff. But yeah. Just having some nice deep talks. You have anything you want to vent out, Talented Tan? Any venting? Any, Are you a voice actor? No. Yeah. No. No, I'm not. Well, completely unrelated to this auditioning thing, I used to do some voice work, but nothing super official, really. Nothing, like, big or important. Just small, like, fan stuff, usually. But I think a lot of people on the internet tend to do that. A bunch of small fan stuff. So yeah, nothing big or important. But this audition is not for voice work specifically, but it kind of is. But yeah. Kind of is. It's basically been all I've been thinking about recently. And I'm hoping that... I can make it in. I'm hoping. Let's see. I guess I'll write something else. I'm not gonna save this text because, I mean, I have it on stream anyway, so no need to save it. Oh, nice. I couldn't dream of doing something like that. I would be too nervous. Oh, yeah? I think it's like something I was born to do, kind of. Which is really cheesy to say, but I do believe it because... I mean, I just feel like it so perfectly fits what I try to do in my day-to-day, or what I try to do, or I'm just like so perfect for the fit. I just fit, I think, maybe. Oh god, it's so hard. I hope I do. I'm trying to be like confident, but also not too cocky. It's hard. It's hard striking that balance, you know? But I think it's important to be confident when going into an audition. Because, yeah, I think it's important to be confident going into auditions and going into anything. Like, even if it's like a job interview or whatever. It's important to be confident. I mean, what are you even doing if you're not being confident, right? I mean, yeah. I think about that type of stuff a lot. I have a lot of, yeah, I get it. Sorry. I have a lot of struggling when it comes to, when it comes to walking the line between confidence and overconfidence or cockiness, because I think for a lot of my life I've had been very overconfident, and recently kind of developed some I don't know, like it's confidence issues, I guess. And one of them, actually, funny enough, was about my voice. But yeah. It's weird because when you have something that people tell you a lot, sometimes it's easier to believe it, and sometimes it gets harder to believe it. I think before, when I was younger, it was a lot easier to believe the things that people told me very often. Like, oh, you have a nice voice. You know, I could be like, oh yeah, hell yeah, I have a nice voice, let's go. But at some point, I don't know when it started happening, but at some point I stopped. I stopped being able to blindly believe that and started looking at it on my own. And when I listen back to clips of myself, I don't really sound the way I imagine. The way I imagine the things I want to do would need to sound, I guess. It's like, okay, I can read a spooky story, but is that really what I want to do? No. I'm not super interested in reading spooky stories. Hell, I don't even like scary stories that much. At all. Really. I mean, some of them are okay. Like, I like some SCPs because they're written pretty well. And I like the idea of being able to write a spooky story, but I like stuff that's kind of more... not esoteric. What does esoteric even mean? 1 second. Esoteric, intended for or likely to be understood by a small number of people with a specialized knowledge or interest. Huh. Interesting. It's common for people to like hear their voice differently than others and lean towards disliking it. I dislike my own voice, but your voice is pretty unique. Unique, huh? Well, thank you. I don't know if that's necessarily a good thing, but I'll take it as a compliment. Sorry, I'm in like depresso hours. Unique in a good way, okay. That's what I always tell myself. I do think it's unique. I never think it's unique in a good way, I guess. But I do think it's unique. Which I suppose should always be a good thing, right? But it's hard to be happy with being unique when you just kind of want to fit into a certain niche. Like, I remember when I first started doing, like, fan voice acting stuff, I wanted to audition for a lot of roles that were like, oh, main character, and oh, that thing, and oh, whatever, because I thought that was a lot of fun. But I found that my voice more often than not would suit, like, villain characters, so it was harder for me to, and even then it doesn't fit it very well, I don't think. So it was harder for me to audition for a lot of, like, main character stuff and feel good about it. But I really have a serious voice that doesn't fit into many preconceived notions, I guess, so it's weird. And I also have the trouble of, even when I am being serious, some people take me as being sarcastic, so I don't know if that's just my social awkwardness and my social ineptitude, but who knows? Who knows? But yeah, I think, yeah, I don't know. I did a lot of reading on... What was that? Why did it go black for a second? Weird. I did a lot of reading and, like, studying and looking into, like, voice acting and how to get better at voice acting and that kind of stuff, and I mean, a lot of the advice is just to, like, be real, or be real, I don't know. Just, like, act in a way that is how you would act if you were in that situation, so I kind of took that up. And God, now I hear, because, I mean, obviously I'm really into anime, so be yourself, basically. Yeah, I think that's a good way of acting. But obviously I'm into a lot of anime, so, I wanted to do a lot of anime roles and stuff, but the voice acting the voice acting in anime is very specific to, like, a specific type of voice. I don't necessarily think that I have that voice, which is why I don't think I really fit into that niche, so. But hell, maybe I could do something like that. But yeah, voice acting is definitely something that I held as a very close passion for a long while, for a decent while. But in terms of this audition, kind of more in tune with why I'm streaming every day. I'm not going to say specifically what it is, but maybe I'll give enough hints that eventually you'll get what it is. But kind of in line with why I'm streaming every day is to prep for this audition, and yeah. Well, obviously there's plenty of other opportunities for voice acting. Yeah, there are. Like cartoon and, yeah, I mean, even like voiceover of other stuff. And like commercial voiceover and stuff like that. But that doesn't necessarily, like, capture my attention as much, so in that regard, I don't think I would care much for auditioning for that stuff. Yeah, man, if you don't get that specific role, you can always audition for another, you know? Yeah. Yeah, you're right. It's just, auditions do not happen very often for this type of thing. So, I'm just being really helpful, I guess. I will just try my best. Yeah. I see. Yeah. Yeah, I really hope I do okay. It's kind of out of my my ability to do anything about it, though. It just comes down to whether they, I mean, with anything, with any interview, it comes down to whether they want to, like, comes down to whether they want to hire you or, and I mean, you specifically. You're always going to be you. Like, I'm always going to be me. I can't be someone else. So I have to just hope that people find value or see any value in who I am and want to know me, I guess. Streaming is interesting because it's both really humbling and very electrifying sometimes. Especially on this low spectrum. I don't talk about this a lot because I don't think it's something that a lot of people can relate to or really care about. Streaming and like the mentality behind this what I'm doing here. But yeah, like streaming to 0 people after a day where I got, oh man, tell me about it. Streaming to 0 people after a day where I got like, I don't know, more than 0. is interesting. Having a minimum of 1 person in chat though helps so much. It's actually crazy. It's crazy. Because I have someone I can talk to. And it's nice. But yeah, it's really, I mean, I know, like, other people's schedules, it's just weird when you have such a small audience. Sometimes it's just by chance that no one can catch your stream, right? It's not necessarily any fault of yours. Like, it's not my fault that no one else is here, and it's by chance that you're here, right? You just happened to wake up earlier today. So it's all just by complete chance. And that happens a lot when you have lower numbers, right? But as soon as your numbers get higher, then the averages all boil down, and things are more likely going to be the same every day, right? It would be weirder for there to just be randomly, like, 50,000 people that can't show up to a stream, right? On average, it's going to be the same. Like, yeah. I guess that's how it is. But when you're smaller, the averages don't exactly meet up, so I shouldn't think about the numbers too much. The numbers, they haunt me. But I shouldn't think about the numbers too much, but it's hard not to, like, stare at that number count and be like, oh, I have 0 viewers right now. I'm talking into a void. Oh god. But I should try to remember that I do have other viewers that come back and watch my VODs sometimes. So I think streaming to 0 viewers is more like recording a YouTube video. Right? I mean, it's exactly the same, really. But then streaming with people there is very, very different. And I'm used to recording YouTube videos. I used to do it a decent amount. I had pretty much just no editing, yeah. Well, I didn't really do much editing either when I was before. I used to make, I mean, I think a lot of people used to make Minecraft YouTube videos, but I got to a point where I probably, if I wanted to, could have kept with it and continued on with a career path. Maybe, who knows? I don't know if I was actually big enough, but I probably was if I was a little bit smarter about everything. So yeah, I probably could have if I was a little bit smarter about everything, but you know, I didn't end up taking that path, and I tried going to school and all that. I mean, I guess technically I am kind of still in school. I'm just on break. But yeah, finding out what you want to do in life is tough. It's tough. I feel like this is a therapy session. Don't feel pressured to, like, give me therapy. I'm just talking. I was already in this mood before you got here, so sorry if it's like a downer or whatever. But I just like talking about this kind of stuff, and I think it's important as well. But yeah, do let me know if I'm being a downer. And don't feel like you need to leave, or need to stay, I mean. don't feel like you need to stay. Like, if you want to leave, go ahead. Because, I mean, then I'll just be back to recording my YouTube video, right? Well, I'd probably end stream, actually, because, I've already been live for over an hour. For over an hour, which is basically my low on... my lowest time amount, the lowest amount that I'd like to be live for is an hour, I think. Because I mean, what's a stream? Who streams for less than an hour? That's like nothing. Hell, I thought streams that were less than 6 hours were like nothing before, or less than. I mean, even 6 hours is a short stream to a lot of Twitch streamers who makes it their job. But yeah. I really am excited to finish this interview thing, because then I can start working on some other stuff for this channel. Like I talked earlier in the stream about preference, I think. Yeah. Like I talked earlier in the stream about making some news type stuff, because I am still supposed to be like spreading the word of recycling, which, by the way, recycle. If you forgot to recycle today, remember to recycle. Very important. Yeah. I'd like to not die. But, you know, don't worry about it or anything. Don't stress about it too much. But recycle. Don't stress about it too much. But yeah, I think that it would be good to do some new stuff. The other thing I had... Thanks for the stream. Have a good day. Okay. The other thing I had in mind was, God, what was I thinking? What was I talking about? The other thing I had in mind was this, ooh. Not on the tip of my tongue. What was I talking about? My brain does this sometimes. I think I have ADHD, at least to some degree. God. No, I don't remember. It's lost. Oh well. But man, yeah. Oh, it was like, if I made like little videos about specific VTubers, like, I could make a video on one VTuber. I think that would be fun. And like talking about them and making some jokes. Making some yokes. Yeah. Like there's a Twitch streamer who got big using a similar method to this. His name is Mizkiff. And he used to make videos about Twitch streamers, other Twitch streamers called, they were like called Who Is Blank or whatever, like Who Is Soda Poppin' or Who Is Tyler One or stuff like that, right? Those were mostly like jokes though. He would just make jokes about them. But I think there's other videos like that that are more informative too. But yeah. All good ideas, all decent ideas. And man, yeah, I have to work a little bit more on whatchamacallit, on this audition. I do. I need something to like hype me up every time. I'm actually gonna hide this window. Where is it? Notepad, there we go. Just slowly slide myself over. Why are you still here? Isn't thanks for the stream, have a good day saying you're gonna leave? What the heck? Leave already. Hello? I'm kidding. But yeah. Lots of stuff to think about. Lots of stuff to think about. Does my mouse show up? Oh, it does. My mouse does indeed show up. Actually, I mean, I guess I'm probably just gonna end the stream now. After all. I was thinking about going for a little bit longer, but I don't have anything else planned. I wrote a little thing. I read a little bit. Chatted. Thanks to the chat, by the way, Talented Tan. 'Twas a good chat. Had fun. Very nice, very enjoyable. So yeah. I think this is going to do it for this stream. And I'm not gonna play the outro this time. I don't think there's really any point. Because, I don't think it fits. I don't think it fits. So, for those of you watching, thank you for watching. For those of you watching after the fact, thank you for watching. You got to see a little bit of my, low energy, low energon side. As I tweeted on Twitter that one time. Got to see some of my low energon side. I'm sorry if I was a bit of a downer. I will try to avoid that next time, I think. But, I think it's healthy to do this sometimes. To talk like this, be honest with yourself. I think it's healthy. So, I'm not upset. I'm doing good. Had a nice talk. I will see you all next time. Tomorrow I am streaming, I don't know what yet. Tomorrow I have as a free day. I was thinking Ori and the Blind Forest because, yeah. I had fun with that, so I was thinking doing that again. Anyways, thank you for watching through to the end if you did. And I will see you on the flip side. Bye bye. I will see you all later. Bye bye. Bye bye. Look at my mouse. Look at my mouse. It's behind me. It's on my head. How? And now I ate it. Okay, no I didn't.